Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we went to... I don't even know the planet. I just know we went to a planet and had to deal with more Nurgle infestations and another outbreak from him. And now we have to talk to Metrodor Thelema.
We know the Alpha Pariah has the unique ability to completely destroy demons instead of simple banishment, but we have no idea how that works.
True. The data we have on her abilities is scarce, and her previous encounter with a greater demon on the Martyr could be an anomaly.
That is why I want her to join me on the chaos-infested world during my mission. Her powers could purge the infestation.
You are experimenting with a live subject, Inquisitor. An idea worthy of a tech priest.
Sometimes you need to resort to unorthodox methods, I suppose.
I will prepare the Alpha subject and have the teleportarium ready when you call for her.
The time has come for you to join me on a priority mission. It is time to test your abilities and determination.
Before I say anything, what am I supposed to do?
We will enter a hive in the thralls of a chaos infestation. I want you to employ your powers to put an end to that foul contamination.
No! Absolutely not! I lived through that nightmare countless times. Walls thick with muck, the shambling shadows on the corridors, the growling of those creatures. No!
Your fear of chaos is understandable, but you are far from defenseless. And this was not a request, by the way.
Are you willing to kill me if I disobey? Or am I too valuable for that?
Time to be a Puritan.
Your powers could save our blessed Imperium from the forces of darkness, and it shall be so.
Really? You know what is more terrifying than chaos? That I lose control over my powers.
If you disobey, I will turn you over to the Magos Biologus and her servo-chirurgeons. You will not die. You only wish you had.
I don't... Yes, I understand. I will go with you.
You are approaching the site where the plague originated. Beware. The sensors are indicating increasing warp activity in the area.
Splendid. This Nurgle infestation is a gift that keeps on giving. In any case, it is the perfect opportunity to test the Alpha Pariah's unique abilities.
Oh, that's thoroughly creepy looking. But one thing I like about 40K that I just kind of realized too is, like, the Inquisitor is not a good person.
I don't even know what I should do.
Just do whatever you have already done several times when you try to protect yourself.
Like, they don't try to make the Inquisitor out to be a good person. They fully acknowledge, like, the Inquisition doesn't really care about people. They care about results, and as a result can be very heartless and just detached from what they're really doing. And it goes to show for the Empire as a whole. They don't try to act like it's different from what it really is. Just like Metrodor Thelema had said, when you're testing with a live patient or a live subject, and essentially saying that's something a tech priest would do, hinting at the fact that tech priests have this general disdain towards people who aren't augmented like they are. You know, this idea that the flesh is weak, and that machines are the true form of perfection.
Regarding your uncertainties, I wonder why Uther Tiberius didn't train you properly.
Uther was a genius, but also a terrible mentor.
If it avoid his mistakes.
It helps a little, yes.
If I can't silence this alarm, there is some serious resistance.
Thought I disabled the alarm, but whatever. But yeah, I can really appreciate the fact that the enemies, or that the Empire is portrayed in a way that isn't exactly positive. Yes, it falls into the whole grimdark thing of being like, oh, everybody sucks. But it fits the story better than trying to paint one group as this bastion of hope. I mean, even the Tau, everything's not as it really seems with them. And that's a very good way of writing them, and writing this whole thing in general, just to keep, I'd say it's to keep consistency. You know, there's no overly good characters, there's no overly bad, people just are doing what they need to survive. Like I've said before, I'd really appreciate having the Empire kind of fracture a little bit along with Chaos, making it so you have, like I said, you know, you have Fulgrim, the clone of Fulgrim break out of, I want to say it's Trazen the Infinite. His, it's not, no, I think that's Trazen, who does the collecting of people and stuff. But you have him, if the clone of Fulgrim break out, you get a divide within the Emperor's Children. Some of them rejoin. Fulgrim comes back as a Primarch, but instead of serving the Empire because he realizes, you know, the Emperor's stuck on his golden throne and can't do anything, he just sets off in his own direction, pulling in groups of both Loyalist and Chaos Space Marines into effectively an attempt to undo their mistakes.
You know, Inquisitor, it was a bold choice to bring me here. Has it occurred to you that maybe you are the one who should be afraid of me?
Are you threatening me?
I'm just pointing out the fact that I have no control over my abilities. That's all.
I found you guilty of heresy.
Though I am worried that they would do something like that and kind of trigger it as
Target in sight.
an end times scenario. I'm already kind of worried they're going to do that with how the Empire is now split in half. I'm afraid they're building up for some stupid end times, everybody gets sucked into the cosmic fart and has to start over again in 40K 2. Which I really wouldn't look forward to. My disdain towards Age of Sigmar has been well documented in these videos. It's just not a good idea when you can actually do better in your writing and have some interesting encounters designed. Easiest I've said, you know, give me Space Skaven, introduce Better Lost in the Dam, introduce a second human empire. Hell, this split could be the start of a second empire of man. You could, I would start it as kind of a second age of apostasy. You have these people start coming in saying, look, maybe the Empire's not right, the Emperor's not right, maybe, you know, Chaos isn't any better, but maybe we're kind of able to control our fate. And then you have to deal with that and the ramifications. It would be interesting.
It is time. Unleash your powers on the Horde.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
This is your destiny. This is what you are. Should you fail to comply, you will probably die.
It is too much. I don't know if I can control it. Yes, I can do this. Perish!
Oh, by the Emperor. Her powers are definitely growing, but she has no control over her abilities. Tech Priest, I need her back on the ship now.
Experiencing recurring calibration problems. Warp anomalies combined with the subject's distortion field are hindering return teleportation.
This location is extremely unsafe for her.
Correct. Sensors indicate large hostile forces inbound.
I need the Space Marine down here. You can send him down here, right?
It was wise of you to call, Inquisitor. No one will withstand my righteous fury.
Try to keep your head clear and focus on the protection of the Alpha Pariah her survival is paramount.
Rest assured, not a single abomination will live long enough to get to her.
But there's definitely stuff they could do, you know. By splitting the Empire, suddenly you'd have the question of... like... I'm trying to think of the way to word this. You could have an Empire that's more willing to embrace innovation. You know, tech priests who are willing to commit what would be considered tech heresy. Embracing, you know, hijacking Tau tech, for instance.
Why haven't you evacuated the Alpha Pariah yet?
Calibrating teleportarium sequences. Chance of failure calculated unacceptable. Suggestion: nullify the source of Imperium fluctuations.
That was hardly a revelation. Find a solution.
But I get the feeling they don't want to split up the Empire of Man any more than it already is. Which is kind of a shame. I think things have gotten stagnant even with this new change to the setting. There needs to be, you know, a faction or something. Because I'm already starting to wonder, how are... So, we know that Chaos clones guys, clone Space Marines, and that's how they keep their numbers up.
Tell me, Inquisitor, is this young woman really worth all this trouble? Not that I need any excuse to kill the filth. Just wondering.
She is an Imperial citizen, Thor, and a very important one at that.
She is also a pariah. And I just can't help feeling instant, deep revulsion when I'm around her. Not to mention her natural powers.
She can destroy humans. The galaxy is burning, and those powers are the most valuable assets we have ever had against the ruinous powers.
But I'm just wondering how Chaos is going to fare against Primaris. You can make the argument that, oh, well, Chaos has them on the back foot, they've got all this land taken, they can summon demons. But even then, surprisingly, the Empire was doing pretty well. Are they going to suddenly start pulling in... Like, are we going to have Primaris Grey Knights?
Loading.
I'm just wondering, because I feel like that would be a bit much. Considering Primaris are pretty powerful compared to standard Space Marines, and then Grey Knights have absurd amounts of plot armor protecting them from literally anything really happening. I mean, look at Keldor Drago. He got sucked into the warp and has just been running around beating demons to death for... I don't know, centuries?
Calibration complete. Estimated chances of successful teleportation are currently at 95%.
And what happens to the Sergeant and the Alpha Pariah in the case of an unsuccessful teleport?
Their physical bodies will disintegrate. Regarding the spiritual component, you can access reference material flagged as unconfirmed.
If we lose a Pariah due to a faulty teleport, there will be consequences. Target eliminated.
But I mean, the only character to last longer in the warp against demons is Oxylotl, the skink, who, based on lore for Warhammer Fantasy, ran around the warp killing chaos demons using anything he could find, or any poisons he could make for his blowgun, for, I want to say the lore said 700 years, which, that's in, like, their normal world. Time in the warp flows differently, which it could have been 7 minutes or it could have been 7 million years. And he came out totally sane and just was like, okay. Showed up during the end times, which apparently was a bad sign. And I know the last bit of lore regarding him said that he didn't escape on the Lizard Men pyramid ships. He just went back into the jungles like, well, time to go start killing again. And that's where his story kind of ends. But I imagine, I want to say the lore, like, they haven't, Games Workshop hasn't fully acknowledged him showing up in Age of Sigmar, but it's kind of implied that he made it through.
Do you see how fragile your master's so-called Imperium is? How imperfect you all are? This insight is a gift from our benefactor.
Who would that be? Another pitiful traitor yearning for vengeance on his former kind?
Alas, I cannot share his name with you, but rest assured, his genius will turn the Karagari sector into the most beautiful garden of Nurgle.
Not on my watch. I will burn out this rot with the sacred fire of the Emperor.
Such fervor! A true pity that I must kill you so abruptly. Why not? Your flesh will spawn wonderful gifts for the Grandfather.
Oh, great, Psyker. And Shadow Clone Jutsu. And I died instantly. Neat. Ah. Oh, how I hate Psychers. Between the absolutely BS abilities, the fact that they can, like, the mind trick isn't Psyker limited. Any, like, commander can get it, or any villain, but the falling, like, doom bolts, the warpfire pillar, those are the annoying parts. This is the wrong way. It is worse, though, when they get the ability to spawn multiples of themselves, considering they all deal damage and all get the same ability pool, so you just get chased by a horde of grenades. Okay.
case is most disturbing. The entire epidemic was a ploy to lure Inquisitors here.
And it worked. Nope. Wrong button. Every other game, every other ARPG, the button for the map is up. And I could probably just remap it, but I can tell you what'll happen. I'll remap it and then I'll start hitting down, because at that moment my brain will be wired to do it that way. Flamers hurt. Drop anything? No. Of course you wouldn't, you're a turret.
I found you guilty of heresy. I wonder what this machine does. Defense mechanism activated. Purified.
Oh, fighting, like commander or villain over here. Oh, an elite. Hellbrute. I mean, the Hellbrute doesn't really need the...
Reloading.
I don't need the assistance fighting a Hellbrute, but I'll take it. Anything to make a fight easier, I guess. That armor's not gonna be better, I can guarantee it.
By the Emperor, the Primogenitor.
Inquisitor, I've been expecting you. I'm truly disappointed, though, that you came alone.
Spare me the grand monologue, you abomination.
I've been hunting your kind for a long time, but I never dared to hope that the Dark Gods would send me the one who has the Alpha Pariah. Tell me, where is she now?
I suggest you prepare for more disappointment, creature.
The Anathema Ultima, the Alpha subject. Call her whatever you want, but she is mine! I have been trying to reclaim my precious experiment since that perfidious Tiberius cheated her out of my hands!
You might begin to see a pattern here.
Oh no, I will take you alive, Inquisitor. We will experiment, you and I, to see where the threshold of suffering lies for you. Then you will be ready to denounce your master and beg for my forgiveness.
Fabulous Bill!
I find your dedication to a decaying emperor most commendable. However, I have disturbing news for you, Inquisitor. You simply cannot defeat me. Should you be victorious this time, it will.
Hideous vile! Your existence is a curse upon this world. Judgment will finally find you.
Another Inquisitor? Wow, this plan seems to be working splendidly, if I do say so myself.
For your innumerable crimes, your sentence is death. Delivered here and now.
You are wasting the dwindling resources of your pathetic Imperium. I am one of many. Even if you succeeded, you would accomplish nothing. But you won't.
Lies upon lies.
The judgment of the Emperor is upon you, heretic.
Inquisitor, next time I expect you to bring what belongs to me. Until then...
Aiming.
Kinda cool to have Fabius Bile here.
You set me up, Inquisitor. What's worse, you have risked an extremely important Imperial asset. I should bring this to the Conclave.
Spare me the indignation. My order knew that Fabius Bile is here in the Caligari sector, and we have been hunting for that traitor for a very long time.
And from your perspective, the demise of Bile is the ultimate priority.
Obviously. Appreciate the irony, Inquisitor. Bile set a trap for us that we used to entrap Bile.
And still, he escaped. I strongly advise that you refrain from using the Alpha Pariah as bait in the future.
Man, that's classic Ordo Hereticus right there. Haha, we used a trap to trap the guy, but they got away. Aren't we smart? Yeah, it's cool to see Fabius Bile show up. Ooh, free blueprint. He's definitely an interesting villain to have up here. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.